Okay, so today we got something different on the bench. We got a Cobra 146. I think that's what I bought. Cobra 146. So we're going to open this thing up and we're going to fire it up and see what kind of condition it's in. It was advertised as basically, well, I mean, it came with the box, the original box. So let's get it out and we'll talk about it. So give me a second to cut this open and we'll look at it. All right, so here we are. We got the box out of the box. He packaged it pretty well, so kudos to him. I'm not going to say who I got this from. We'll cut this open here. But I guess the guy that I got it from kind of restores older radios as well, maybe. He said that he recapped this radio. So that's something generally that I like to do, as opposed to somebody else doing it for me. But I couldn't pass it up because I'm pulling stuff out of this box here. And I don't care about power cords. And another coffin mic, that's cool. Add that to the collection. I'm not really, I prefer to do all that kind of stuff myself, you know, to do restorations. And there she is in there. Look at that. But, you know, if somebody else does it, no big deal. It's just, I like to do it. But I couldn't pass it up because it looked so nice in the pictures. And look at that. It does look spectacular. It's beautiful. I generally like to try to find radios that are in the best condition I can get them, as far as, like, you know, cosmetically. You can't always, it doesn't always work out that way, but sometimes it does. All right, so you know what? Let me get a screwdriver here. I'm gonna pop off these side thumb screws and get this bracket off here. As long as I own this radio, it's never going to be in a vehicle, that's for sure. He's got his little do not remove sticker on there. No, buddy, it's coming off almost immediately. Don't worry about that. I'll be looking inside there before too long. So I guess what we can do is just, so since he kind of recapped it, I'm assuming that he probably maybe aligned it somewhat. I don't know, though, I guess. It's possible he didn't at all. So we'll look at it. We'll see what kind of power we're putting out. He did mention that, let me put an antenna to it here. And I've got our power supply over there set to 1 amp, just in case anything catastrophic has happened to it here. Let's get a, okay. External speaker. All right, so we've got some stuff hooked up to it. Let's get our mic adapter over here, and I gotta find a 5-pin. There we go. There's a 5-pin there. Oh, sorry about that. We'll get a 5-pin hooked up to it. I'm assuming it's a 5-pin. Oh, look at that. Now it's a 4-pin. Okay. Forget that. All right, we'll stick this in there. I don't know if there's going to be there's a circuit in there. It's going to cut the speaker out without a mic input. So trying to find a, I can't really see it. Hold on. There it is. It's facing forward, the notch. Okay. We got a mic hooked up to it. I guess we'll just turn it on. Let's get everything set. Squelch open. Volume is down. Okay, it's off. RF gain all the way up. We'll put it in AM to start. Voice lock is even. Yeah, it really is pretty. He wasn't kidding. It sure is a pretty faceplate. Dang. It is beautiful. All right, let's turn on power over here. So we got an amp current setting, and it's drawn nothing, which is good, but it's off. I'm going to turn the power on. We'll see what it draws. And it's drawing about 0.387. That's normal. Okay, that's good. I hear something. PA switch doesn't work. That does nothing. All right. Well, at least it doesn't work in the position that nobody ever uses. Huh? That's good. All right, we'll work on that later. All right, so I do hear something. All right, let's go to Super Bowl. Oh, I was in AM. I'm sorry. There we go. Yeah. So she's got receive anyway. All right, let's see if we hear anything on the Super Bowl. You hear those, how just over modulated and muffled these guys on the Super Bowl sound. It's not a Super Bowl, obviously, but that first radio I heard there sounded like crap. All right, anyway, yeah, so she's receiving an AM in sideband. That's good. So let's take her out of the antenna. Let's put her into the dummy. You know what? First, let's put her into this. No, we'll go into this first. All right, so let's put her on channel 19, and we're in AM. RF gains all the way up. Clarifiers 12 o'clock, and squelch is open, and we're gonna just dead key and look over here and see what she's showing for a dead key. All right, so I forgot to turn up my power. All right, so now we're at 5 amps. Let's dead key it. All right, she's dead keyed, and she's putting out, looks like about 4 watts. Yeah, she's 4 watts on the nose. So he definitely went in there and lined at least some portions of it. That's cool. All right, so let's, oh, there it was. There was our dead key on the scope. All right, let's add some modulation to it. I already got a 1 kilohertz tone, 30 millivolts. And that doesn't look bad. Not at all. Look at that. It's nice and clean. So limiter's not clipped. That's good. All right. So let's, he had said that he found a couple of bad solder joints. It had some intermittent transmit issue or something, and he fixed a solder joint or two. And so, yeah, it's definitely still transmitting. All right. So let's go to a 2-tone over here. Yeah. And we'll change our output to 2 tones. And then we'll stick her in lower over here, and we'll look up there and see what she's doing. All right, so we're going to key up and see what power she's doing first. All right, she's doing a lot of power. All right, so she's over modulated, but she's got decent crossover. It's just over modulated. No big deal. That's easy to fix. All right, how about receive? Let's stick it in this. Oh, first, before we do that, well, no, yeah, let's do that. Let's go back to single tone there. And then we're going to go back to AM over here, and we're just going to look at her on the on this spectrum analyzer here. So this is 30 kilohertz wide, so 3 channels, and we'll see how clean the spectrum is. So it looks nice and clean. That's nice. All right, and let's see. Am I hooked up to this Boomton? I might be. I can't remember. No, I guess I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's see. Let's stick this into here. This Boomton here isn't calibrated. It's just probably within about 4% of being accurate. Let's see if it gives us anything. Well, I guess I'm still not in it. Thought it was. All right, I'll mess with that later. Okay. So we're not going to look at it there. We'll do it. Let's do it right here. All right, we'll see what our AM depth there is. So it's 95%, 96%. I believe that, based on the waveform. Okay, so let's go to, how about a receive. All right, so that's an S9 I got pumping in there right now, and it's pretty dang close, so that's good. All right, let's take her out of there, and let's go into this other RF generator I've already got set up for it. Hold on. All right, so now we're hooked up to this RF generator over here, and we're going to just do sideband. So we'll put this over here in sideband. Oh, you know what? Let's take our speaker output. We're going to put this into the sine adder up here. All right, so now we're hooked up there up to the sine adder. And we're going to do 1 microvolt minus 107 dB. So let's turn that on. Okay, and let's get her clarified. Right now we're at about 12 o'clock. We'll see how far off she is. We'll see when we get the most strongest signal on. There we go, for our 1 kilohertz. There we go. Super strong receiver. Look at that. Now this is sideband, and we are fairly close to being at 12 o'clock. Nothing to complain about there. That is a super strong receiver at 1 microvolt. So what is that, about 26 dB of synad at 1 microvolt. Let's push it down to, how about, let's see, minus 125. Oh, I dropped off pretty far there. Let me see if I can clarify it again. No, not really. All right, so about 120 maybe. So it holds about 10 dB of synad at 120. That's pretty good. Yeah, decent receiver. Yeah, let's get the, let me go ahead and turn that off. Turn that volume down. All right, let me get the, let me crack his little sticker here. And we're going to get in there and we're going to mess with that sideband. See if we can get that to be a little more linear than it is. I'll be right back. All right, we're back with this 146 again. And wow, she's super clean on the inside. And he did recap it. It doesn't look like he missed any either. I don't know really, not really sure what quality of caps he used. Nishion, I see Nishion in there. I think these are Nishion as well. I'm sure probably they all are. So yeah, he does. This guy does some nice work. I mean, if anybody recognizes this is very, very, very close to a President AR-144, AX-144. It's basically the same radio. It sure looks like it anyway. I mean, they're almost identical. I mean, everything about them. There's your little jumper board. I mean, everything about it looks like a 144. But yeah, looks like a nice recap job he did on it. And as we saw, the alignment's not bad at all. So the linearity on sidebands leaves a little bit to be desired. So we're going to go ahead and mess with that. That's going to be our adjustment, our main adjustment. Hopefully, if everything is truly linear, which it looked like it was, just overdriven, is this VR6 there. So we'll go ahead and we're going to key this up. We already got a 2-tone test back on there again, and we're going to look at it on the scope after we key up. All right, so we're keyed up now, and there is our power. What kind of power is she doing? Yeah, that's a little bit too high of an average for my taste, and obviously overdriven. So we're going to get here on VR6. All right, we're on VR6, and let's go ahead and adjust that down. See if we can get it down to something more reasonable. All right, there we go. Coming down, coming down. It's more to my liking. That's about 5 watts average. Okay, so let's see what that looks like into for power and for peak power over here. Let's see what we're looking at for peak power. Let me key it up again. So she's about 12, 13 watts peak. That's fine. As far as linearity now, the linearity looks really nice. I can live with that. Oh, help if I pulled it out. Oh, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let me key this. Or let me move this again. I was about ready to pull it out of that IFR 1200 and leave it with no load. Okay, one more time. Just keying up nice. Let me just go ahead and just do this. He said there were some issues with janky solder joints. I'd say you did a decent job fixing it. I'm bouncing it around here. It's not flaking out, at least not on sideband. Yeah, cool. Well, kudos to you, gentlemen who restored this. You did a nice job, in my opinion. Nothing to complain about from me. I probably what I'll do is let me stop keying there. Probably what I'll do is I'll replace this signal meter. I really love like the Ranger style like X9 signal meters. I've got a boatload of my Cobras that I've replaced the stock signal meter with one of those Ranger ones. I think they just look so much cooler. So you know it's got a white / cream background depending on which one you get, and maybe make that blue. I've never pulled one of these face plates for a Cobra 146 off. I've done it for the AR 144s, but this face-plate looks completely different. So, I don't know. We'll see. If it's not too much of a hassle to get apart, I'll swap out the channel display for a blue one. But I'll definitely put a different signal meter in this, though. But yeah, so I guess that's about it, folks. Decent shape. Cobra 146. I've got another one of these that just sitting in a drawer that I bought as a parts chassis. It actually, I think it does work. It's just, looks absolutely horrendous on the faceplate, and then the covers are all rusted out. I mean, the guts are okay, but I got it cheap, something like 45 bucks on eBay, and I thought, well, just for as cheap as I got it, I'll keep it as a parts chassis if I ever come across one that looks really nice. And here we are a year later, and one finally popped up that was beautiful, and I got lucky and got it. I think I got this for $128 or $125 on a bid. I rarely win bids, but I got lucky on this one and got it at a price that wasn't too bad. It didn't reach my limit, my bid limit. So yeah, I'm happy. So I guess we'll see you guys next time. That was I'll venture to say basically a new in-box Cobra 146 that I got at a good price. So 73s, everybody. Okay, so I just realized looking back at the last segment that I was cutting half of my waveform off up there when I was trying to show you the AM and sideband waveforms. So I'm going to just show you that again. I don't want to reshoot that whole segment because it's already done. So for those of you that stuck around this long, we'll just take a quick look at that again. So I just to show you out of the back of the antenna jack there, I'm just going to an RF sampler I made, which then goes over to that dummy load over there / power meter, and then to all my equipment in various ways. So we'll go ahead and key up on AM channel 19 here, and we'll take a look at this linearity real quick. All right, so we're keyed up. You see our power over there back on the 20-watt scale, but it's about 4 watts. Oh, geez, hold on. So now, well, I guess we'll just show you that. So there's our frequency, our dead key frequency on AM. So it's pretty decently aligned. I would prefer it to be closer probably to 20 hertz if I could get it there, but it's about 70 hertz off. It's not too bad. And let's just put a tone into it, 1 kilohertz tone, and we'll look at it on lower sideband and see what our output frequency is there. They were keyed up and we're about 35 hertz off, not bad. And we'll go into upper sideband there. We should be 1 kilohertz above. We're on lower, we are 1 kilohertz below. And all right, we're keyed up. And yep, she's about 70 hertz off on upper, but not bad. And let's take a look at, oh, well, let's leave her there for a second. Let's go back to AM. Turn that down, and we'll look. I think I've got the bouton with an input now. So there is, yeah, there we go. So we're looking about 94% there. I think the 8920 had it at about 95% modulation, so not bad. All right, so let's get it out of that, and we'll put it into, we'll put it back into the oscilloscope, and you can see. All right, so now we're back in the oscilloscope. We'll look at the AM waveform first. Hopefully it's now actually in view. All right, there's our AM waveform. Looks really nice. Not overmodulated. And then we'll take a quick look. Let me turn this back on to a dual tone. Okay, now we'll look at a dual tone. We'll put it over here into lower. And we'll look at a dual tone up here real quick. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I forgot. I got to set the output for, oh, I did have it set. What happened? Oh, I see. All right, that should work now. I inputted the wrong frequency for a two-tone. It's Russian. All right, now we should see it. There we go. So now you can see the linearity for a two-tone test and sideband. Looks beautiful. And one last thing, we'll just stick a regular mic into it and you can listen to it real quick. Can I get this? Oh, slip right in. All right. So let's do, we'll just monitor radio. So we're on lower sideband up there right now. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Check, check. That was lower. I'll just go to AM next. Here's AM. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got my RF gain all the way up on that. And turn it down a little bit. Okay, so now here's upper. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a little bit off. It's not an open clarifier on the 146 here. Let's see if I got it going the right way. Check, check. Probably not. Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little closer. Yeah, I mean, it's still fairly close. You saw it was like 70 hertz off. It's not a big deal. That's why we have clarifiers. Yes, folks, it doesn't need to be perfectly on frequency. That's the purpose of a clarifier. So don't let anybody ever fool you into thinking that it's ultra important to get your transmit frequency on sideband as dead nuts on at 12 o'clock as you possibly can each time and every time. It really doesn't need to be that close on frequency. That's why you've got this clarifier that can swing anywhere from 2 kilohertz either direction to 5 kilohertz or even 10 kilohertz either direction. So you got a lot of linear or a lot of leeway there. So don't let anybody let you or convince you that, you know, somehow their method of aligning a sideband radio is the best way to do it. I get it dead on frequency and nobody else can, or whatever the hell their little sales pitch is. You get it close on frequency output. You know, obviously you don't want to be bleeding over another channel, but I mean, if you're within 100 hertz of where you need to be at, you're not going to have to turn the person receiving you is not going to have to turn that clarifier very far to to get you clarified in. So, I mean, like I said, that's the whole purpose of having the damn clarifier on a sideband radio. But anyway, it's just a little bit of a rant there. Yeah, I think that's really about all there really is to show about it. I just wanted to let you be able to see a better picture of that waveform before I signed off. So again, for those that stuck around to see the end of this, 73s to y'all, and we'll see you next time.